What's up, guys? I'm back today with another Pocket GM episode on the channel, and in today's episode, we will be back with episode number 3, coming off last year where we just barely missed the playoffs, ended up as the 60th ranked team, 9-7-1 season, and just were on the cusp of making the playoffs. We made some upgrades, as you guys can see here, an 88 overall defense, 76 offense for an 82 overall team, 4th in defense in the power ranks, and 18th in offense, so we might have a little bit more success on the offensive side of the ball than the defensive side of the ball. But you guys can check out what we did on offense, what players we ended up picking up. We do have Trey Jefferson back again after last year's pretty successful season, 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Not too bad. And for kind of a gap-filling quarterback until we wait to pick up someone in the draft, that's kind of the quarterback we're pretty much looking for, kind of a mid-round or a mid-overall kind of player. Ended up picking up Luke Boykin, gave him a very large contract coming off 2,000-yard plus season and 10-plus rushing touchdown seasons, gave him a huge contract and front-loaded the contract for a $17.5 million cap hit this season. $6 million left in cap space this year, but a lot of depth on this team, a lot of positions. You guys can see some of the rookies we ended up picking up. Wide receiver group's a little lackluster. Would like to pick up kind of a number 1 overall player, but probably going to end up looking later on for that. And that's pretty much it. We're going to go over the team. The offensive side of the ball is a little lackluster, like I said, and hopefully we can pick up some kind of more marquee players. We do need a quarterback as our big thing, but obviously would like a number 1 receiver. Shakur Duggar is doing pretty good. He should be able to give us another pretty good season back-to-back. Pretty good seasons from him. And then the offensive line probably needs a couple upgrades. But other than that, the defensive side of the ball is where things are kind of taking shape and looking pretty well. But again, these are a lot of players that ended up paying a lot of money to in contract years or in free agency. So we're going to need to kind of replace some of these players with contracts later on or with some free agency pickups, not even free agent pickups, draft pickups later on to kind of get some players on the team. But this is what the squad is going to be looking like, and we are going to be heading into season number 3. I'm hoping we can potentially sneak into the playoffs here. We're not going to take too many dives into each game, but we do end up having a pretty good game. We 400 yards of offense, and we're going to lose this one. A little disappointing, 1 turnover. We lose that one by 14. Moving on, we have 3 injuries on the first week of the season. That is not exactly what we wanted to have happen. 2 of our defensive ends, Myrick especially, out for 5 weeks, and 6 for Caleb Green. And a rookie, I think he was our first-round pick. He was number 17. Not the best pickup for a $5.7 million contract, but we'll make it work. And then it looks like one of our cornerbacks is going to be injured for 7 weeks. So not exactly where we wanted things to start here, especially not looking great. So 74 on offense. I'm not sure why. Did we jump down? What did we jump down so much for on offense? That's actually really weird considering we were just a higher overall, but we'll run with it, see where this offense can take us. Hopefully the defense can carry us, but we are missing a lot of players. So I'm kind of getting a little bit nervous here. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for the quarterback. And another injury to our outside linebacker. And this team is absolutely getting destroyed by injuries. So let's look at picking up a free agents pickup here. Probably just bring in Ronald McGill for a 1-year contract. Maybe. There we go. So $4.2 million. And he is going to fill another spot on this defense. And then let's move on. The team, I'm getting a little nervous here now that we have a ton of injuries. So let's hope we can kind of rack up some wins here. And we get our first victory against Arizona. Quarterback's going 2 for 1. And Boykin 10 for 91. Not too bad at all. Moving on to week number 3. We do get another injury, so we'll check that out really quickly. Safety. We probably should pick up another safety, but I'm probably just going to run with it for 2 weeks and see if we can deal with that. Moving on to Indy. They are a very good team. We do lose by 4, moving them to 3-1 on the year. Did outgain them again on yards, but we just cannot put the game away. And we're going to lose that one 34-30. Moving on to week number 5 against Miami. And we take another loss, moving us to 1-4 on the season. Not the greatest start. 3 interceptions for our quarterback. Not going to look good there. And we do have another injury, it looks like, to our middle linebacker. See if any of these players are getting close to coming back. So I'm hoping when Myrick, Caleb Green come back, and potentially some of these other players that we do have injured will hopefully be able to put this team back together and hopefully make a little bit of a run here in the second half of the season. And we do get a nice victory, moving us to 2-4. Kind of a necessary one right there. Boykin with a huge day through the air, or on the ground, over 400 yards of offense. 2 turnovers, though. It looks like we're turning the ball over a lot this season as we move on to the next week against Houston. Kind of a big win we need here to get us back into the playoff hunt, and we do. 14-13. Low-scoring game. They only score 100 or put up 165 yards of offense, but we end up turning the ball over 3 times. And kind of a quiet day on the ground as well, 76 yards. And we are going to move on from there. 3-4, moving us up the ladder a little bit. And let's see if we can bring this season back. Losing again, 19-15, 321 yards of offense. 2 interceptions from our quarterback again. I got to see what he has for interceptions. Just 12 interceptions, 12. More interceptions than he's thrown in both of the last 2 seasons. Already through 8 games. Not exactly the start we wanted to have happen. But we do have some of our players back. The offense, again, is lackluster. We need to pick up some marquee players. But other than that, hopefully this defense can carry us and potentially give us a run here at the playoffs. We'll check out the schedule really quickly. 6-1 Cincy, 6-1 Indy, and 6-2 Buffalo coming up, and the Giants as well. We have a couple of games we're going to definitely need to win here. Starting with a little bit of an upset, and we don't get it. Cincinnati is going to win this one. In my other save, Greg Okereke is absolutely insane. He's won like 6 MVPs in one of my other saves, so very interested if he's going to end up with that dominance in this save as well. But we end up losing that one. Don't turn the ball over, but we only have 251 yards of offense, and we are going to be moving on to our bye week as our outside linebacker does end up getting injured. Moving on. We'll have to check out how things are looking here. We'll check out the playoff position. 3-6, we're really far out. It looks like we might be, unless we upset Indy here, we don't, moving us to 3-7 on the year. We have tied the amount of losses we already had last year. Not exactly what we wanted to have happen. Moving on to Buffalo, another tough team. And we get beat again, 17-12, moving us to 3-8. That pretty much knocks us out of playoff contention. And let's just check out how the team's faring. Just overall, I want to check out some of the stats. And it looks like defensively, we're kind of mid-tier. Offensively, again, the passing game's great, but the running game is absolutely just not carrying it. Makes sense. We're running an air raid kind of offense, but our quarterback is not putting up the numbers we need. We're definitely going to be moving off from Trey Jefferson after this season. But let's see how this season ends up closing out. We do get another victory, moving us to 4-8. 4 touchdowns, but 2 more interceptions for Jefferson. It's kind of a game to see if he'll actually end up with more touchdowns than interceptions. So we'll see how we close out this year. We do end up getting absolutely crushed by the Giants. Another interception for our quarterback. And we are going to be moving on here. That brings us to 9 losses on the year. Absolutely atrocious. I don't even know what to say. We lose to Las Vegas, putting up 190 yards of offense. Let's get through this season. Who even cares how this finishes? We'll get through Houston. We do get beat again, 4-11 on the year. We should have a pretty good pick here as we move into the next part of the season. We're going to need to pick up some offensive help here in the offseason. As we move on to New England, we get beat again, 4-12. I don't even care. We don't even need to check the stats. We'll check the stats at the end of the season, see where everybody kind of ends up, and we close it out on a 4-13 record. Absolutely atrocious. 4 interceptions to close out this season, kind of the best way to end it out. We lose 5 in a row right there. And we'll check out some of the schedule here. Absolutely atrocious. We win 1 game since week 8. Tough schedule, don't get me wrong. Tough. Houston in the division is tough. The Giants are tough. Buffalo, Indy going 16-1. Cincy. And again, just tough teams in the division and tough teams in the AFC. Losing to Indy twice. Miami also. And just not winning the games we needed to win. Rushing game, bottom of the league. Kind of expected. But the quarterback play is not up to par. Finishes 23 for 23. We're going to be needing to make some big improvements this offseason, and let's quickly go over the stats and end this season off and move on to the next season. 23 of 23 for Jefferson, not the season we really wanted, so we'll be definitely moving on from him. Boykin, we should have a top 10 pick or so hopefully we can get out of here. If we actually check the regular season, it looks like we should have possibly like a top 5 pick, actually, which is kind of surprising. I did not expect that to happen, but we have some tough AFC teams here. 15-2 Denver, 16-1 Indy. Not great. Did we give up just a disappointing season? Very disappointing to finish that way. and two 1-6 teams, 1-16 teams, but not great. Boykin with a pretty good season, another 1,000-yard years for him. Our backup, Ricardo White, not really great at 3.7 average. Feller is going to lead the team, or Filer is going to lead the team. And then we have Marks, Murray, White, and Murphy. So pretty much everybody kind of right around each other. Tight end as well, Duggar. And defensively, 9 sacks for Orr, not too bad. 1-year pickup for him. And then nobody really else kind of carrying the squad. 3 interceptions for Orr as well, 3 interceptions for Lomax. And that is pretty much not too bad season from our rookie kicker, moving up to a 90 overall, so not too bad. And that is pretty much where things are going to end off. We'll check quickly where. Let's check out power ranked. We are a 78 overall team, and we're finishing at the bottom of the league. I was hoping we could have snuck into the playoffs or kind of done something to make the playoffs, but the offense was atrocious. The defense really could not carry their own because the offense was really turning the ball over way too much. As you guys can check out, we are top 3 in the league in turnovers. That's not going to win us anything. MVP probably going to Dallas. I think did he win last year? No, he did not. So Dallas is probably going to end up with the MVP, or Okereke, or even potentially Jack. I think Josiah Jack ended up winning it last year. It looks like he did. Running back, 1,600 yards, top in the league, 1,500 for receiving, and tight end. Our tight end was at least up there defensively. 20 sack season, no 10 interception season for anybody. And wow, our middle linebacker is going to be up there. Potentially, wow, he could actually potentially be up there for Defensive Player of the Year. Probably don't think he wins it just because we didn't have that kind of success, and some of these other stats are much better with 12 sacks and 4 interceptions, so don't think we'll win it. Lomax with an alright season as well, and that's where things are going to end off. We're going to sim through this playoffs, see what ends up happening, see who wins it all. Almost all of the home teams ends up winning there, and we're going to move on to the next week. I have a feeling Indy might close it out. They don't. They lose by 1 point. And their 16-1 season is over. Moving on to the next week, and it looks like the Super Bowl is going to be between Denver and the Giants, and we'll see who ends up coming out on top. And it looks like Denver going to win this one 23-20, and that is going to be it for the season. Donovan Dallas out of Denver is going to win the MVP. Miles is going to win Defensive Player of the Year with the 12 sacks like I expected. Offensive Player of the Year going to Nick House with a 1,300-year season. Defensive Rookie of the Year with a solid 6 interception season. Anybody on the All-Pro team for the squad. Looks like our middle linebacker as expected. And that is how this season is going to end. So we're extremely disappointed that you didn't make at least the playoffs this season. This team isn't ready to win a championship, but we expect you to make a run at the playoffs next season. So we need to make a run at the playoffs, be in the hunt at least, and that is where our season is going to end. Lots of decisions, lots of changes we need to make here, especially on the offensive side of the ball, to kind of make some moves here and hopefully put this team in kind of a winning place, or at least where we can kind of potentially make a run for a playoff spot. 7-10 to 9-7-1 to 4-13 is not the drop off we wanted to see, but we are going to have to deal with it. We should have potentially like the 3rd or 4th pick in the draft, which will be pretty good. So we'll see what ends up happening with those picks. But I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys do enjoy the series, please make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel so much. And I will see you guys in episode number 4 for season number 4. And hopefully we can turn this absolute disaster around and create, hopefully, a team that compete for the playoffs. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.